You know, I spent the best part of the first half of my life working with people who were right in the middle of the last half of their lives. And while some of it embraced it with this sense of anticipation and adventure, others wrestled daily with the struggles that they faced. Often, choices impact outcomes, which raises the question, what changes can you make today to live life fully, with vibrance and with resilience? I've only just reached this sort of midlife milestone myself. Perhaps you aren't quite there yet. Perhaps you're long since past it. But it's been a bit of a rude awakening for me, if I'm really honest. For example, my daughter, she's getting married in December. And I would love to wear some really cute, strappy 3-inch heel. You know the ones you're talking about. But, you know, my feet will no longer comply. And I've spent most of my last couple of months searching for shoes, using phrases like most comfortable shoes for bunions, and wondering if sneakers are really a valid option for the wedding day. When I was talking to that same child about coordinating my outfit, she told me that wearing silver earrings would complement my gray hair. It's not that I mind that she mentioned my gray hair. After all, I chose to grow it out, but I'm wrestling with its unruly nature and its the way that it's forcing me to update my otherwise normally monochromatic wardrobe. Waking up without pain in my low back is a bit of a crapshoot every day. I'm never sure which way the dice are going to land, and all bets are off when it comes to getting out of bed. And some days those look like I'm bouncing out of bed, and some days straightening up out of a 90-degree angle doesn't really kind of happen for the first half hour. And these days, this smoking hot body of mine is less about how I look and more about my menopausal symptoms. Experience and observation have shown me that my body is not going to sail into the next 45 years without some considerable health investments. It doesn't matter what part of the life journey you're on, yours isn't either. Now, clearly, I'm already paying for some of the decisions that I've made over the years. For example, I probably have bunions because of all of those strappy heels that I used to like to wear when I was in my 20s. And my low back is trashed because I decided when I was also in my 20s that I was strong enough to carry a couch up the stairs, but I wasn't. And also possibly my low back is screwed up because of all those strappy heels that I wore when I was 20. So I'm beginning to think those strappy heels have an awful lot to answer for. You know, every time we make a decision, we either make a deposit in our health savings or we make a charge on our health credit card. And that credit card bill mounts up and it's going to come due with interest at some point. Some of the, shall we call them, chronologically gifted adults that I've met have been quick to let me know that aging is not for sissies. I had one guy tell me that the only thing golden about the golden years was the pee in the cup at the doctor's office, and it does seem that a disproportionate amount of time gets spent there as we age. Some of the primary concerns that I have seen that aging presents are structural issues with our bones, including different forms of arthritis, brittle bones, fractures, and breaks. Inability to balance blood sugar leads to metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, neuropathy, kidney disease, heart disease, hearing impairment, and Alzheimer's disease. Venous issues with our circulatory system include clogged arteries and heart problems, rigid blood vessels, and the risk of heart attack and stroke. Digestive issues including constipation, diarrhea, infection, difficulty digesting foods, and loss of taste. Loss of mobility is a very real issue, and brain health issues as well, including dementia, Parkinson's disease, mental health concerns, and strokes. Where you end up when you're 90 is not inevitable. Of course, there are definitely times when dumb stuff happens that's way beyond your control, but you have far more control over your life than you think. You aren't even always subjected to your genetics because you have choices to make, and those choices can have the potential to turn your genetics on and off. So what is the problem? Well, while several theories exist regarding the root cause of aging, we know that several things are implicated in the process. You know that thing on the end of your shoelace? It's called an aglet. It's like an end cap. Well, your DNA strands have one of those as well. It's called a telomere. And as we age, our telomeres get shorter and shorter. Dr. Murray's and Pisano call them the clocks of aging in your body. Every time a cell replicates, a small piece of DNA is taken off the end of each chromosome and the telomere gets shorter. Now, those telomeres are especially susceptible to oxidative damage from free radicals. We find these free radicals in cigarette smoke, air pollutants, pesticides, anesthetics, aromatic hydrocarbons, fried, barbecued, and charbroiled foods, alcohol, coffee, and solvents, things like cleaners, paints, gas, and furniture polish. Another process that might speed up the aging process markedly is that of glycosylation. Basically, that's the attachment of blood sugar to proteins until the protein ceases to function. So our doctors Murray and Pisano give us the example of cholesterol-carrying proteins. They get so covered in glucose or sugar that they're no longer able to bind to the receptors in the liver cells. And when that happens, the liver cells no longer halt the production of cholesterol, and the production of cholesterol in your bloodstream proliferates, and then you end up with high cholesterol, which we know is not good for your health. The best thing that you can do to promote longevity is to reduce the risk factors that contribute to an early demise. Some of those most colossal risk factors include obesity, smoking, and alcohol abuse, 3 things that are generally within your control. But I believe there are 4 major areas that you need to focus on to become a successful, chronologically gifted adult. They are nutrition, sleep, movement, and emotional well-being. So let's take a look at those 4 things right now, starting with nutrition. Nutrition is the bedrock for all aspects of a long and fruitful life. Real food will fuel your body. It profoundly impacts your heart, your bones, your senses, your brain, your digestion, your skin, your sex life, and even your spiritual and social life. It can give you energy, it can reverse chronic disease, it can improve your mobility, and bring clarity to your thinking. Every single part of your biochemistry is influenced by every single bite that you take. Antioxidant-rich foods are well known for their health-promoting benefits. Perhaps this is in large part because of their ability to protect your telomeres from free radical damage. Vitamin C, E, beta-carotene, which is one of the precursors to vitamin A, selenium, flavonoids, and sulfur-containing amino acids, methionine and cysteine, all act as antioxidants. So let's take a second and talk about a few of those. Vitamin C is the first one, and George Matalan, the author of The World's Healthiest Foods, tells us that vitamin C has an impressive track record for preventing damage caused by free radicals. It's one of the supplements that we're most familiar with. Who doesn't know about taking a little bit of vitamin C? It's available in pill and powder form, and it's plentiful in our fruits and veggies. It's kind of hard to miss, but despite all of that, our intake of vitamin C isn't much higher than the dietary reference intake, which is 90 milligrams for men and 75 milligrams for women who are over 20. So where can you find it? Well, fantastic sources of vitamin C include papaya, which has a whopping 168 milligrams of vitamin C in one medium fruit. Bell peppers, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, strawberries, pineapple, and oranges are also delicious sources, with 1 cup providing your daily quota of vitamin C. Vitamin E is a blanket term for 8 different nutritional, naturally occurring nutrients, and it's also fat soluble. And because it's fat soluble, it offers protection against damage to the fats that line the outside of every single cell that makes up your body. Diets low in vitamin E have been associated with lots of disease processes that are all correlated with growing older. Now, I'm a huge proponent of including leafy greens in your diet for good reason. They are one of the best sources of vitamin E. A 1-cup serving of spinach, Swiss chard, turnip greens, beet greens, or mustard greens is going to provide about 20% of your daily reference intake. Sunflower seeds, however, are packed with vitamin E. They provide 82% of your daily recommended intake in just 1/4 cup. Now, as always, I encourage you to consider the quality of your food choices. I was thinking about sunflower seeds as I was putting this presentation together, and I thought about how readily available they are, right? You can go to any grocery store and like at the end cap, you'll see all those sunflower seeds, and they've usually been roasted and salted, or they may have flavorings on them as well. But that process of roasting, the high heat, damages the delicate oils inside the sunflower seeds, and all those flavors that are on it are rarely good seasonings for you. They're usually just artificial flavors and preservatives, and the salt content is not great either. So at a health food store like a Sprouts, where they sell groceries, you can get raw sunflower seeds, and you can just add them to your salad or something like that, or grab them for a snack, and you're going to take the quality of the nutrients that you're receiving up a huge step there. Beta carotene is the next one. Beta carotenes are found in plants, and they're just one of many vitamin A related nutrients, and their presence in your body may actually be one of the most significant factors in determining your lifespan. They're both antioxidants and anti-inflammatory. Beta carotene is often found in our leafy green vegetables and brightly colored orange and red colored vegetables. Remarkable sources of beta carotene include sweet potato, carrot, spinach, kale, and mustard greens. They are also fat-soluble nutrients, so including healthy fats with your meal is going to help your body to assimilate those nutrients. The next antioxidant I want to talk to you about is selenium. George Matalon tells us that selenium is required for the proper activity of a group of enzymes called glutathione peroxidase. These enzymes play a key role in your body's detoxification system, and they also provide protection against oxidative stress. In that role, selenium works hand in hand with vitamin E. Dr. Murray tells us that low levels of selenium render people at a higher risk for cancer, cardiovascular disease, inflammatory diseases like asthma, and other conditions associated with increased free radical damage, including premature aging and cataract formation. Cancer and cardiovascular disease are our nation's top 2 killers, taking a combined average of 1,253,000 lives annually. So including these nutrient-rich sources of selenium in your diet is an easy way to mitigate those risks. Brazil nuts, wheat germ, tuna, shrimp, sardines, and salmon are your highest sources of selenium, providing between 80% and 225% of your recommended daily intake. And it doesn't take much, 3 Brazil nuts a day. Flavonoids are a power-packed group of plant colors that have more antioxidant activity than the vitamin C, E, beta-carotene, and selenium combined that we just talked about. Not only do they make up the color of the plant, but they also often contain the plant's medicinal properties. This is one of the reasons that I advocate eating from a rainbow of foods every single day. And I tell people all the time, when I say eat the rainbow, that does not mean grab a bag of Skittles and pick all the colors. It means take all the fruits and vegetables you can find that are all different colors of the rainbow and include them in your diet. It's going to give you a wide range of beneficial nutrients that are going to give you broad spectrum protection as you age. Just like a rainbow will go from one end of the sky to the other, these nutrients are going to protect you from one end of your lifespan to the other. The next one I want to talk to you about is sulfur-containing amino acids. So the 2 that I want to concentrate on are methionine and cysteine, and they are 2 sulfur-containing amino acids or proteins which have been shown to improve longevity. Now this might be because they are a major determinant in the concentration of sulfur-containing compounds such as glutathione within our cells. And I just talked to you about glutathione. It's something that helps our bodies to detox. It's vital for our detoxification process. It sticks to the toxic compounds in your body and helps to get rid of them. So when we have high levels of toxic compounds or free radicals, we need more glutathione. To make more glutathione, you need more methionine and more cysteine. So where are you going to find that? You're going to find it in your fish, your eggs, garlic, onions, and nuts. Now, it's also worth taking a moment to discuss the benefits of vitamin D with you, if you want to maximize your lifespan, that is. Studies have shown that participants who took vitamin D supplements had a 7% lower risk of death compared to those who did not. Now, Dr. Murray shared a 2007 study that provided an explanation for its longevity-promoting effects, and that is that vitamin D may slow aging by increasing the length of those telomeres. Now, in the study, scientists examined the effects of vitamin D on the length of telomeres in white blood cells of 2,160 women aged 18 to 79, and the higher the vitamin D levels, the longer the telomere length. In terms of the effect on aging, even when they accounted for obesity, smoking, and lack of physical activity, higher vitamin D levels could reduce a woman's biological age by up to 5 years. Now, when it comes to nutrition, it's important, and we're considering longevity, to think about not only what we're eating, but how much we're eating and the timing of our meals. Reducing caloric intake has been widely studied as a means to achieve longer, healthier lives. It's been shown to extend lifespans in monkeys, mice, and rats. In their study, Promoting Health and Longevity Through Diet from Model Organisms to Humans, Luigi Fontana and Linda Partridge said, dietary restrictions started in young adult rhesus monkeys greatly improves metabolic health, prevents obesity, delays the onset of sarcopenia, which is the loss of muscle mass due to age, age-related hearing loss, and brain atrophy, and reduces the risk of developing and dying of type 2 diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. Interestingly, fasting has had its place in various societies for thousands of generations. There have always been periods of famine that followed seasons of feasting, and there are many religions that even today still utilize fasting as a way to improve their spiritual understanding. Now, intermittent fasting may be one way to achieve this without engaging in 24 to 72 hour water fasts, although those have their benefit and place. However, if you have blood sugar regulation issues like diabetes, you do need to consult with a physician before taking on a fasting regimen. Intermittent fasting is the practice of taking a break from eating for 12 to 16 hours between your dinner and your breakfast. There might also be some benefit to breaking your fast by eating the biggest meal of the day fast, eating fewer calories as the day progresses. The old saying goes, breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper, and that may be very wise for just keeping on top of your genetic aging process. Successful aging depends on healthy doses of pure water, vitamin, and fiber-filled fruits and vegetables, clean proteins, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Including these in your diet will build an unshakable foundation that will withstand life's adversities. Do you remember running and playing as a kid? Do you remember playing kick the can or capture the flag or tag and hide and go seek or bike riding? Maybe you went bug hunting and you spent hours and hours outside until the sun dimmed and your mum served dinner. Exercise used to be child's play, right? Until we all grew up and turned it into this massive chore. Well, if you missed the news that moving your body improves your longevity, then you might have been in a bunker for the last 30 years. These days, though, it's important that we understand that our lack of movement kills us faster than smoking does. It is the new smoking. It contributes to loss of balance, decreased blood flow, and increases our risk of chronic disease. I've witnessed countless seniors who've lost their mobility and with it their health and freedom. Most studies have shown that individuals who are not physically fit have an 8-fold greater risk of having a heart attack or stroke than do physically fit individuals. Physical inactivity leads to a condition called sarcopenia, which I mentioned a few minutes ago, and that is the degenerative loss of muscle mass and skeletal mass and strength as we age. It is to your muscles what osteoporosis is to your bones, and it happens quite rapidly as we begin to age, especially past age 50. Dr. Murray tells us that it is a predictor of mortality and disability. It is linked not just to a significantly shorter life expectancy, but also to decreased vitality, poor balance, slower gait speed, more falls, and increased fractures. Dr. Walter Longo, he's a director of Longevity Institute at the University of Southern California, has studied the impact of exercise on life extension, and here's what he prescribes to maintain muscle mass. He suggests that you find a couple of places 15 minutes from home and walk there and back quickly twice a day. That gives you an hour of brisk walking a day. He suggests doing exercise that will raise your heart rate and make you sweat for 30 minutes every other day, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. And then on those other days, to do weight training or weight-free exercises that will strengthen your muscles on those off days. So after you've done exercise too, if you consume about 30 grams of protein within 1 to 2 hours of working out, you should be able to increase your muscle mass. A large Australian study of over 200,000 people showed that mortality can be reduced by up to 47% for people who exercise at least 2.5 hours a week. Increasing that amount to 5 hours a week can lead to a 54% reduction in mortality. But you do need to be careful not to overdo it and exhaust yourself. You should always begin with small amounts of exercise and build up, preferably with the guidance of an expert. Exercise doesn't need to be a chore either. Figure out how to fall in love with your movement again, find your spirit of play, bust out your best moves, and waltz into the future. The next topic is emotional well-being. Aging is out of your control, but how you handle it is in your hands. Much of your success in life depends on your attitude. Maturity is no exception. One study showed that positive self-perceptions of aging increased longevity by up to 7.5 years. It improves your health, your thinking, lowers your heart disease risk by up to 29%, and boosts your immunity. One of the best ways to accomplish this is by engaging in healthy relationships. Harvard research has shown that having a good friend to do life with can help buffer us from the problems of getting old. Emotional wellness is affected by several key components. Physical and social are just 2 of them. It also helps to feel financially secure, spiritually connected, and intellectually and occupationally engaged. And no, you might not want to start another career at this point in your life, but C.S. Lewis said, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." Engaging in lifelong learning and meaningful volunteerism or hobbies is a great way to improve your well-being. So ask yourself, how old would I be if I didn't know how old I was? Forget your age. Embrace your life. It's sure to add years to your life and life to your years. The last one I want to focus on is sleep. So too little sleep and too much sleep are both associated with a shortened lifespan. Brain health is often compromised with too little sleep. We know that sleep apnea triples your risk of dementia and depression and makes it hard for you to lose weight. It also increases your risk of heart attack, stroke, and high blood pressure. Your body goes to work while you sleep at night. It detoxes and allows your blood pressure to go down. It cleans up your brain. It might also help you to improve your blood sugar. This time of rest allows the cells in your muscles, organs, and brain to repair and renew each night. All of these things contribute to a longer, healthier life. Now, too much sleep can also be detrimental. Dr. Mark Stibitz showed a study of 30,000 people that found that sleeping 9 or more hours at night had an increased incidence of stroke of 23% compared to those sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, and those who slept for over 9 hours and napped for 90 plus minutes during the day had an 85% increased stroke risk. Most of you have heard that your sleep sweet spot should be somewhere between 7 and 8 hours. A study of 21,000 twins over 22 years revealed that if people slept less than 7 hours a night or more than 8 hours a night, they had an increased risk of death, 24% and 17% respectively. Sleep can be elusive as we age because of underlying health conditions, shifting hormones, and low melatonin. Melatonin is increased by healthy levels of serotonin and exposure to natural darkness and light when the sun comes up and the sun goes down, your natural circadian rhythm. So here are some tips that might help you to get a really good night's sleep. You can exercise and burn energy during the day, but not too close to bedtime. Have consistent bed and wake times. Turn off your devices 2 hours before bed or use blue light blocking glasses in the evening. Stop eating several hours before you lie down to sleep. Don't consume caffeine after noon. Keep your bedroom as dark as possible. They say the ideal temperature for sleeping is 65 degrees, so turn the thermostat down if you can. Pursuing a great night's sleep is one of the very best ways that you can ensure a long life. Seconds pass into minutes, which pass into hours and then into days. And each new day that you wake up carries you one step closer to another birthday, and each birthday ferries you nearer to maturity. Inside your body, invisible to your human eye, your age clock is ticking away as your telomeres shorten. Who you physically become, the rate at which you age, and the quality of life that you experience is often well within your control. A vibrant and resilient future is built on a foundation of excellent nutrition, intentional movement, tranquil sleep, and is polished off with this first-rate attitude about aging. If your choices impact your outcome, then the question becomes, who do you want to be? And what changes will you make today to make that possible?